Hello and welcome to another late musical gems video. This one is going to be a bonus episode, much like one that we did maybe a year or so, where we had different products from different bands to showcase some unique albums or some new releases. This time we're looking at 4 different albums from 4 different artists, 2 of which we've covered in the past, and we also have another special Linkin Park episode coming up that will showcase some of the 20th anniversary stuff that's been released over the last few years. So if you like this and you're expecting or hoping for more, stay tuned and we should have more content coming out soon. So first of all, we're going to start with Korn's latest release, at least latest in terms of when this video comes out. This is Requiem. There wasn't many special editions of this, at least that I could find. The only one I could find is one that came with a patch, which is pretty old school. Who wears patches anymore? If you're a patch wearer, maybe get down in the comments. I'm going to use this this knife that goes back to my childhood. It's obviously had some trauma itself, but I think it's appropriate. Just because, actually, maybe I shouldn't be using it when there's a patch involved, but never mind. That'll do. So I'm not expecting anything, I guess, different about this album in terms of outside of the patch, but if you don't have the physical copy and you're just interested, then we'll go over... Oh man, the patch was glued on. That's not really necessary considering it's shrink wrapped, but we'll get back to that later. So you can see the track list in a sort of unconventional layout. There's only 9 tracks on this album. I don't even know what constitutes an album anymore. I thought it had to be at least 10 or 11 tracks, but maybe it's more due to length, and you can see each song is at least 3.5 minutes, so maybe that's what constitutes an album. Inside, it's pretty minimal, I guess, in terms of its design for a Korn record. It's mostly got this sort of weird doll baby moulding kind of feel going for it. It's cool, but it's not, I guess, something that you would expect from Korn. But then they never really tend to stick to the same tropes every time anyway. This is the I guess, what would you even call these anymore? Booklets. They don't seem to have lyrics. Got each member of the band, I guess, Fieldy. They didn't feel like putting his face on there. I'm not sure how much or if at all he contributed to this album. But it does feel weird, I guess, having a Korn album without Fieldy's face or name anywhere. He might be in the special thanks. I'll go through that on my own at some point. So again, very minimalistic, no lyrics, not much in way of artwork, but I guess kind of. It's not minimalistic in a lazy way. It's minimalistic in a kind of, I guess, stylish way. At least that's how I see it anyway. The album itself, like, I don't do album reviews, for anyone who's watched this for a long time will know, but it took me a while to get into this album, but I actually really like it now. I just feel like it's maybe too little. It feels like this only came out like maybe a year after the last album, and I feel like it could have done with more time in the oven, particularly considering it was during the pandemic. They had the time to really hone it and maybe add a few more tracks. And we never got a special edition, as far as I know, with bonus tracks. They've got this sort of these alternative versions of the songs on the albums that just came out recently, but really they're not much different to go to those over these songs or to listen to them back to back. It's just not much variety there. Anyway, it's a really good album if you haven't heard it before, and there might still be versions out there with this patch. No, it's plastic on the back. That's odd. It's like laminated on the back of the patch. It's a kind of cool patch. It's kind of like picks up light in a weird way, which might not show up on the video. And if you're still into patches, it's cool that Korn are still giving that throwback. Anyway, that's Requiem from Korn. Then we have Slipknot's latest record. So obviously, as you know, if you've watched this channel at all, we've done a few Korn videos now, and we've done a few Slipknot videos. So my intention is every time a new album comes out to try and get, in terms of the CD, the most premium version you can, which is harder these days, obviously, with physical media not selling as much as streams and downloads. So maybe I won't be able to do this for much longer, but we'll keep going while we can. So this, think may have been, I can't remember whether I got this on the official site or Amazon, but this is an exclusive sleeve. There's not much to it. Again, minimalistic from Slipknot, but it is numbered, so this is 206 out of 1,000. There's not really much to the sleeve, and I don't think this artwork is different to the main artwork. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I was doing any sort of research on it. But it's got your standard plastic covering on it. Is there a way I can get into this that doesn't extend the video by 10 minutes? I think I managed it. Yep. So we'll get into this and have a look for anybody who's intrigued as to how physical Slipknot albums look in the year. I guess we're 2023 at this moment, but I think this album came out last year. I could be wrong again. No, 2022. Okay. So again, very polarizing album for Slipknot. I'm still not quite sure how I feel about it. It does have some great tracks, but they're starting to feel a little bit too experimental for my liking. I prefer most of the tracks to have that core Slipknot sound and then have a few that deviate and show what they're capable of. And this album feels maybe a little bit too much like they want each track to stand out on its own and feel different to the standard Slipknot sound. But that's just one man's opinion, and obviously I think this album's done fairly well for itself. Again, pretty minimal. I'm always sort of on the fence about Slipknot artwork. Sometimes it feels maybe too much on the nose, and sometimes it feels a little bit too abstract to the point that there's not really any message that can be derived from what you can see. But still, it's still got that Slipknot feel. It almost feels like it's going back a little bit to the sort of Vanillion artwork from Subliminal Verses, which in terms of artwork is probably up there with my favourite. So I kind of like that it's got that feel. It's got all the lyrics, which is obviously welcome, and not only that, but this is a fully fledged booklet. You know, it's got enough pages to cover the lyrics of every single song and still include some artwork on there, so you can see new mask variations, including some of the older characters. Some of the, you know, they feel like they're going in a bit of a Mushroom Head road with some of these other masks, but I guess after how many albums now and how many eras of Slipknot, you start to run out of directions you can go in and still be able to perform in these masks. So again, like, nothing super exciting about the artwork, I guess, unless you're into this type of thing, but it at least stands up on its own and has a unique identity for the album itself. So there's that. I guess the only unique thing potentially about this album is the exclusive sleeve, which again is really minimal. Like there's not much to this besides the numbering. It's, you know, back in the day, this used to be almost like the basic. You'd get a nice sleeve on it, and then you'd get ones with extra feelies and, you know, bonus tracks and deluxe editions with live DVDs and stuff. You just don't tend to get those anymore. The next two albums we're going to look at feel more from that era, feel like they give you more bang for your buck and give you a sense of ownership of part of the band. Newer albums just don't seem to be doing that anymore, and I guess that's down to the record labels going, there isn't enough money in it. So that's Slipknot, the end so far. Next up, a little bit of a deviation in terms of genre for this channel, I guess. This is a Kings of Leon collection. It has the five first albums from Kings of Leon and a Live at the O2 DVD. I haven't opened this since I got it. I got this years ago now, I think a couple of years ago, and I was hoping to put it into a video like this. So if anyone is fans of Kings of Leon, this is quite a unique package, I guess. It's not just, sometimes you get these and they're just 5 albums almost bound together in a really cheap packaging, but this looks like it's some sort of box with some, you know, unique artwork to kind of make it feel like it stands out on its own. So I'm going to try and open this without making any damage. Like I said, this knife goes so far back it probably, you can't even cut the film. Oh man. There we go. I think we did that without causing any damage. And the sticker's on the outside, of course. I'd love to know what people think, if anybody is, you know, on the cusp of leaving a comment what you feel about stickers on the outside sleeve, because sometimes they're unique, they look really cool, they complement the artwork of the album, and sometimes you know, they're on the inside and they're in a really annoying place. So would it be, you know, 1 second. Sorry. So yeah, I'd love to know what people think about these stickers, and whether you don't care and you just rip it off and throw it away, or if anybody tries to reapply. I've tried reapplying in the past and it's worked, or it's actually made it worse. And sometimes I just, you know, accept the loss and throw it away. But yeah, interested what people who still collect physical medium do with these stickers that are left on the film. I guess without the sticker, this looks a lot better, a lot cleaner. So I think in this case, I wouldn't do it. I noticed before I opened this that this has got some sort of sticker showing the albums and the track list, but just slapped on the back of the box. I thought it was going to fall out, like you might be able to see there's glue under here. So this has kind of lazily been put together. I'm not really a fan of this. You can even see on this album here that the glue is actually seeping through the paper. So not great there, considering how good this looks. Anyway, okay, that's really bad. So I can't open it without, I guess, ripping this off the back, which is really bad because it doesn't fall backwards, it lifts. So actually we're going to have to try and surgically remove this, which again, same problem with the sticker, means that this is now probably going to be useless. Not a fan of that at all. I mean, yeah, okay, and then it's got here in pretty hard text to read the names of the albums. I think I'm going to keep this on for now and we'll just make our way in. So, again, it still looks pretty cool. Once you take the albums out, they're not in their sort of jewel cases that you come to expect. So they've kind of got, even the glue is a sort of gold colour. That's kind of a neat touch that they've tried to keep the same colour tone even through the glue. It's like in some areas they've really put some thought and effort into it. In some areas they've just not given a crap. Anyway, so they're all in these really. Oh, okay, they're just in these. So actually, yeah, I'm not really a fan of this. A CD on its own with just slapped on top of the standard manual. I don't think the artwork's changed. I feel like they had a design and they went, this is what we want it to look like. And then manufacturing said, yeah, let's get the cost down there as far as possible, but still keep the same design. It's a shame, this, because they've got some great artwork. The albums are beloved. It's a cool little package, but it looks like to keep costs down, they've really shaved some of the creativity and artwork and design away from this. Like, as a Kings of Leon fan, I would never want to own this over the standard album. So really, I'm only buying this. I'm not sure if you could buy this separately. I'm sure you could. So really, what is the benefit of owning this besides just saying that you've got a cool little box set? If anyone remembers back to my Radiohead box set, that had some of the same issues, but at least it seems like the design was at least up to par to make you feel like you were owning something a little bit more special than this. Yeah, okay. Well, that pretty much sums up the Kings of Leon thing. I think I'm not very well impressed. I think I will put these away, keep them in the package, basically glue it back down and forget I ever opened it. This one has a glossy feel, which is odd. I mean, you might not even be able to see the design, but there's sort of a light silhouette of all the characters' heads. If anyone knows the Youth and Young Manhood album, you might. Ah, there you go. You can see it in the light there. So that one has a glossy feel, but the rest don't. They're all matte. So again, strange design, because obviously the jewel case albums didn't have the option of gloss or matte finishing. Anyway. I've not seen this out in the wild, and I can't even remember where I bought it at this point, but it seems like it's not crazy common. So if you do see it, and is that wrong? That must be wrong. If you do see it and you buy it, just bear in mind that if you plan on opening it, you're going to have the problem of having to remove this sleeve. And you might be happy with that. This isn't the best design, but it could cause some damage. And once it's off, it's off. So that's the Kings of Leon box. Again, it's just the first 5 albums, these 5 here, and then the live at the O2 album. Any of the others aren't included. Okay, and then last but not least is Avenged Sevenfold's Waking the Fallen. So this may be my favourite Avenged Sevenfold album. The follow-up could maybe rival it, but I think it's not argued that it's one of their best. This is it's a 2 CD and DVD box set, and it also has original album plus never before heard demos and live tracks, a 30-minute documentary, expanded artwork, and I believe it comes with a flag. Includes Waking the Fallen Resurrected 2 CD DVD plus exclusive 46 by 46 inch flag. So when I bought this, I thought it was a t-shirt because I didn't really look too much into it. But I'm assuming this is the basic artwork of the flag. But you don't get many, I guess, flag album combos, so it is pretty unique. I'll show you this here in case you wanted to read deeper into what is actually included besides just the standard set list. I haven't obviously opened this and I haven't looked at any of this, but now that I'm getting to the point where I can open it years later, I'm going to check out some of this myself. So this should be a little easier to get into. One thing right off the bat that I don't like is once this is open, it's clear that none of this can remain contained, right? The album is separate, and this box is literally an open top box, like it doesn't close. So once I open this, I just have some cardboard that I'm not really sure what to do with. I have a loose flag and a loose album. Now obviously the album's the key piece, but why not design this to have it all contained like the Kings of Leon one? Why is it like this? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's almost like they had some cardboard sleeves. And I mean, yeah, I just don't get it. I really don't understand the design decision here. And we'll see once I open it up how this no longer is a package. Once the film is off, everything's loose. So let's jump to that. Okay, I'm already feel like I'm bending the cardboard, and it already was even in its film. So here's the album. So it says Waking the Fallen Resurrected, so they've given it almost like a re-release name, which isn't too common, but that's kind of a neat idea. This is sealed too, so we'll get to that in a bit. But now, do you know what? I don't think I'm going to open this flag on the camera. I just don't have the setup right now. This is actually a bit of a low-budget video because we're in a different address, different camera setup, so we don't really have the right setup to show a 46 by 46 inch flag. But you know, this essentially is, I believe, what it's going to look like. Yeah, that's obviously the text of the band name. So you get the idea. And also, it's neatly packaged at the moment. I would not be able to get it back in here to save my life. So we'll leave it out. You get the idea. It's a big flag. And, I mean, maybe I should even keep... No, I'm not going to keep it in like this. So you can see here that this is what I'm talking about. It already had some creases and some bends and... Like, what am I supposed to do with this? It's just taped together, literally taped together with, like, what feels like medical tape. What would I do with that? If it was a box, I could keep everything contained. Anyway, I'm not going to harp on. It's already pretty boring to hear me say that, but I've never seen a release like this. It surprised me then, and it's still surprising me now. I don't know what the Hopeless Records... There you go. I think that sums it up. But... the headline product is the actual album, and if you like this album at all, this is probably one of the coolest packages you can have to celebrate the album and the music contained. There might be bigger releases, but this comes with a lot of actual content. That's weird. Oh, okay. I thought it was something else then, but obviously they're showing their respect for the Rev, the original drummer of the band, which would have featured on a lot of the, well, probably all of the music on this album actually, and anything that came before it. And then you've got suitably emo pictures of each member of the band. Yeah, I don't know when this came out, but I wonder how they feel about how they looked here. I mean, they're probably not too far off today, to be honest. So each of the albums seems to be contained in these slips, which are actually quite hard. Oh, there we go. So this is disc 1, which I imagine... See, now I don't even know where the track listing is. Guessing it's on the back of this. Anyway, that's probably just the bass music. I don't think there's any bonus tracks or anything like that. It is just the album, which is fine. And then here we have Waken the Fallen, Resurrected, Disc 2. So let's just briefly go over what is contained in that, because that's probably, at least for me, the most interesting. So you can see we've got, it says Waken the Fallen, Resurrected, Second Heartbeat, an alternative version, Chapter 2 demo, Reminiscence demo, I Won't See You Again Part 1 demo, I Won't See You Again Part 2 demo, and then a bunch of live tracks from Ventura and Pomona. So I guess, yeah, a bunch of tracks off of this album performed live. And then they've got a documentary, Chapter 4 live footage video, official music video for Unholy Confessions, and the original first cut music video of Unholy Confessions. So some good content if you're, a big fan of this album, or I guess early content from Avenged Sevenfold. And then it looks like they've got, so it said on the front there was extended artwork. I've got the original album, but I can't remember the extent of which the artwork. So this is the, is this the original artwork for the album? Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I've seen this artwork before, and I swear it used to be the cover of an album, but now it says Resurrected under it, so it's hard to know. I think that's the case, at least before maybe it was published by what are they called again? Hopeless. So here you can see photos of the band performing, probably of the era, I would imagine. And lyrics to all of the songs. It's a nice, it feels like a quality paper, but rough, almost like an old magazine or something. It's nice quality. And then they're again showing their respects for the Rev, the classic drummer of the band, and considered probably one of the better drummers at least from the scene of their time. Okay, so that's the booklet, and then I think I've called the paper inlay for each album I've opened something different. This has a sticky residue around the outside, which is really throwing me off. Anyway, this is the DVD featuring the documentary and some of the videos, and I guess there might have been a live performance on there. So this is disgusting. It's picked up some glue, I think, from the inlay. So I maybe don't want to watch that without getting gunk in a DVD player. Yeah, so that's Avenged Sevenfold, Waken the Fallen, the resurrected version, with both a flag, a bonus CD, a bonus DVD, and also a piece of crappy cardboard that you can't do anything with anymore. Now, excuse the short edit. This CD arrived in the middle of production of this video, and I figured I would throw it in because I'm not sure I would be able to do a separate video based on it alone. So, as addition for I guess the fifth item that we're looking at in this video is the new Enter Shikari album, A Kiss for the Whole World. So this is, despite its pretty flimsy presentation, the what do they call it? The deluxe edition. Three discs, one album CD, and then a live CD, and then that same concert, the Alexandra Palace, on DVD. Now, I was hoping for a bit more than this, and was hoping to maybe tie it into a larger video, but considering how it's arrived, I think we'll throw it into this one. And at time of recording and at time of release of the video, this album actually came out yesterday. I didn't get it until today. So I'm going to unpackage it first, and then it's not really, I guess, very common for me to sort of review any of the albums, but considering this one came out quite early, I'll speak a little bit about how I feel on the album itself. So I've given myself an easy access so that you're not watching me just swing a blunt knife around for 10 minutes. And I think this has the sticker on the outside as well. Yes, it does. Ugh. This doesn't make it that much easier for me. Okay, we're in. So it's very minimalistic design. I guess they don't have any text on the front or back that isn't entirely necessary, I guess, for sales purposes, which I guess is nice. Has its perks, I guess, in keeping the actual artwork uncompromised. And as we open up, we then get, I guess, the track listing for the actual record itself and the set list for the live CD and DVD, which, as you can see, covers, I guess, by the looks of it, mostly new stuff. There's Juggernauts and Snake Pit and Destabilize. Besides that, mostly new stuff off of the Spark and Nothing Is True. Or is it Everything Is True? I can never remember. Inside, okay, there's a booklet. Kind of wasn't expecting to get this. Bright pink. Seems to be the sort of colour theme they're going for this one, as opposed to the sort of pastel blues and greens of the previous album. And it does come with lyrics, which I wasn't expecting. I'm not quite sure if the previous albums always had lyrics in them, but you'd think with their sort of political stance, it makes sense so that people can get into their mindset. But that's a nice addition. I didn't actually expect that here. You've got more of a, I guess, a close-up of the artwork up front there. And then, okay, there's a CD in each of these slots. See, I'm not... Being a collector of CDs for quite a while now, you may have noticed yourselves that the decline of the packaging quality, this is pretty minimal for a 3-disc set. So that's the base album in the sort of on-brand pink that we're seeing. I don't know how to get this one out without it doing what it just did. Okay, let's speed this up now. Let's push that down, get it out. So this is the CD of the live concert at Alexandra Palace, which they seem to be quite fond of playing at. I mean, this is number 3 at this point, and that's just in terms of times they've recorded there. They might have played there many more than that. And this is the DVD, so they've still kind of gone for sort of pastel-esque colours, I guess. It still feels like it's in the same brand type as the previous album. And then I guess there's really not much else to look at. Really, the artwork seems to just be, different distances that this picture has been taken. Not that I've got anything against it, it's a cool design. Anyway, that's the final thing, I guess, for us to unbox in this video. In terms of my views on the album so far, it's probably... See, I don't know if I've said this in any previous videos, because Lewis, my partner, did most of the Shikari stuff on the channel, but I was never the biggest fan of the Spark, and Everything Is True, or Nothing Is True, or whatever it is, the previous album, I felt like was going in the right direction, but wasn't quite perfect. This album might be the best thing they've done since Minesweep, in my opinion. Every track is great. I think the weakest track on the album is probably the first one, which is a Kiss for the Whole World, I think. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to really go anywhere, but the rest of the tracks are just all killer and no filler. There's no grand orchestral tracks that just feel completely out of place and like they should be scoring a movie as opposed to actually filling an album. It's very short, only 30 minutes, but there's some real great drops in here, and there is still screaming, I guess, for some people that still feel like Ken and Shikari need to be screaming in all of their songs. But I just feel like all of the tracks are really well built, and the orchestral moments are built into the songs and not as if the song has been built originally to be grand orchestra. So a really, really great album, and I think it will stand the test of time. I don't think... I shouldn't imagine old or new Ken and Shikari fans would be disappointed by this one. And in the package, for some reason, they threw a sticker in. I didn't buy this. It seemed to just come with the album. Maybe this is just to soften the blow for what is a really cheap and flimsy deluxe edition. Like, if this is what the deluxe edition looks like, I can't imagine what the one-disc version looks like. Probably better, This was £20 off of the official website. And they've thrown a sticker in as well. I mean, I know I was slagging off these, but at least these are sturdier and I feel have better presentation just from a first impression than something like this does, where it really is just cardboard sleeves hinged together. So that is that's the bonus episodes. Again, another one of these will probably come out once I've collected a bunch of little goodies for you guys to see. Hope you enjoyed it. And again, stay tuned if you are interested in the Linkin Park video, which will probably go. It'll probably go a week after this episode. Obviously, our content has slowed down a little bit. There's not much physical releases to buy anymore. And in terms of the gaming type content, we kind of came to the conclusion that we'd maybe extended that as far as it could go. We might do the occasional one-off, but I think our music videos, for some reason, have always been more popular, I guess, than our gaming ones, considering we're a gaming channel. So I would like to continue doing these for the people that look out for them. Anyway, thanks for supporting the channel. I don't think I've ever asked anyone to ever thumb up, comment, or subscribe, but if you do that regularly on YouTube and you've not done it for us yet, consider doing so, and thanks for watching. See you again soon.